Well, hello everybody. Started to get a few parts for this little 400EX, and the first thing I'm going to throw on here is a set of Alba Nerf bars. So I've never had a set of Alba Nerfs. They're a little more budget friendly, but I think they'll work just fine. It'll be nice to have a bigger foot peg for this little machine. Just give you a little bit more control and stability. And yeah, I'm going to open them up and get this thing up on the table and put them on there. Wrapped pretty good. We got red nets for them. They're shiny. That's cool. A little sharper than I expected. The instructions are a little squished. Pretty straightforward. Should be able to figure it out. Just out of curiosity, I want to see how tall these are off the ground. Just a hair over 13 inches. So we'll see where the new pegs are at once they're installed. Dang, that's on there. Alright, I went and got some of this stuff. I've never had to buy it before, but I've had the privilege of working on newer machines and all the bolts just come out. So we're going to give some of this a shot. Alright, we're going to let that sit for a second, see if it works. Alright, I let this sit on here for a while, and we'll see if these come off now. Oh man, they are on there. Alright. Hey, that one went. Wow. Let's take this thing off. You'll notice I'm always wearing gloves because I do not like racking my knuckles on stuff. Call me a wimp, but I'll pass. There, sweet. Alright, we're gonna spray a little more in there. And we will go work on the other side. So unfortunately I lost the audio on the next clip, but the other side thankfully broke loose pretty easily and I was able to get that out. The bolts were definitely pretty gnarly. They were actually kind of the gnarliest bolts I took off the quad as far as rust goes. And when I went back to the other side, I used my smaller impact gun, and thankfully that was able to, I guess, vibrate itself loose and get that bolt out of there. Soaked these in some of that PB Blaster. Seems like it actually cleaned them up pretty good. But I bought some of this other stuff. Evapo Rust. I don't know, looks cool. We'll see if it works. I should find more rusty stuff to put in there, that's a lot. Now to finish putting these Nerf bars on. Ooh, look at that! A bolt that came loose, that's nice. Well, this bolt's pretty overkill in length. I guess it'll work. Came with like a long bolt and like a medium long. I'm gonna use the long one up here though because it looks kind of funny underneath the foot peg. It sticks out too far. Put a little bit of this stuff on there. With anything like this, I guess you just want to hand tighten everything first. And then we're going to have the foot peg mount. Look at how clean they are now. Just put them in there overnight. Gives it a little bit of play. Put that on first. I'm assuming this will swing. So that just goes through there. Well, they go on super easy. The other side's gonna be the same. So I'm gonna tighten everything down now. Oh, good thing I didn't put them on all the way. I can't get to that bolt on the foot peg with this on here. It says the foot peg bracket bolts are only 31 foot-pounds. There we go. Come on. Said these are only 20 foot-pounds. All right. There we go, it's getting harder. That's pretty tight. Just a tad bit of play. Pretty minuscule. Let's see if these are pretty self-explanatory. They don't seem to be backing out at all that way, the way I have them fed. I don't think that's going to get any tighter on there. Well, there's one of the new Nerf bars, so I'll get the other one put on. Alright, I just took this bumper off of here, and there's a broken stud that's stuck in here. It looks like someone maybe tried to take it out because there's like a cut mark in there. I sprayed it with PB Blaster last night, and I'm going to spray it again, and hopefully we can get that out here. So I just went and bought some stuff here. I got an extractor set, and then I bought a metal drill bit set. Maybe I'll start with a smaller one, which would be, it says an EX3. Start with that, but I'm supposed to punch that and then drill it out a little bit. I've never done this before, so the beauty of YouTube. Watch a video, hey, I can do that. We will find out. I know I'm supposed to whack this in here though. Oh, dang. That went in there a lot better. Okay, so I was supposed to drill it more maybe? That broke off in there. Oh boy. That's got to be like hardened steel or something. All right, I've been battling with this thing in over my head. I've been persistent, and I actually think it's starting to back out. I'm not sure what's going on, unless just part of it's coming. Can I back it out by hand? Well, part of it came out. So I got that out of there. Wow. I wonder if a bolt will thread in there at all. It's a couple threads. The first extractor I put in there, the tip of it broke off. So I drilled a ton of small holes around it, like 3 really tiny holes around it, and I was actually able to wedge it and pop it up out of there. So once I got the extractor out of there, I could drill through it all the way, and I've already kind of learned my lesson here to make that hole quite a bit bigger so I can use a bigger extractor, because it's going to take quite a bit of force to get the rest of this out if it's going to back out of there. The only problem is if I break another one off in there, I'm going to really be in trouble. Now, this has been interesting, but I chose to do this because I thought it would be a fun kind of learning experience, and maybe I was a little more optimistic in it coming out, but I learn the hard way sometimes, so this has been fun in its own way. We'll put more of this in here, and we'll find out if she'll want to come loose with an extractor later. Okay, this has sat overnight with PB Blaster in there. So I'm going to put this easy out in here and give it a couple good whacks, and hopefully this will start to back out. I guess we'll see. Either the easy out is bending or it's just stripping the bolt out more. As of now, looks like it just stripped more. The easy out didn't break. I mean, this is quite a bit thicker. The one I broke off in there was really small. This thing is just not having it, man. That was an interesting sound. Man, that's a lot of force. I'm for sure losing all hope here. I do not think this thing's going to come out of here. Okay, so I decided to keep pushing at this because I'm just stubborn and I didn't want to give up. So I ended up using the drill here with this size bit to just bore out the edges as far as I could. The threads were damaged and I bought this tap and die kit, whatever they're called, and used this die tap, I don't know what this stuff's called at all, and was able to slowly over time thread this thing in. You know, I would go in a tiny little bit at a time and then back it out, clean it off, and just back and forth, back and forth. And now this will thread all the way in by hand. That took longer than I want to admit, but the fact that it's accomplished and I'm a total noob that really had no idea what I was doing, I just got super lucky, but that's pretty awesome, man. Right on. Jake from the Brewer Off-Road channel told me that the TRX 450R bumper is the same mounting, and it should work on here. Oh wow, they sent me a bunch of stickers. Sweet. Thank you, Factory 43. I love the Factory 43 bumpers though. I mean, the old Pro Armor stuff was really cool, but I mean, bumpers to me are purely cosmetic. They all kind of do the same thing, but I think Factory 43's got really cool styling with these. Nice. Look at that thing, man. That looks sharp. Now we see if it lines up. Oh, it looks like it's gonna work. Dang, that looks pretty sweet, man. That little stock bumper that was on here was obviously bent up and stuff, but I just can't stand tiny stock bumpers. You can't pick up the front end very easily. You get high centered on the trail or something, that's super annoying. You just want to pick the machine up to move it around in the garage. Let's take a look at it. Pretty beefy little bumper. Looks kind of big on there, but I don't think it looks too big. This all looks nice the way it's all stamped. I mean, they make really quality products. Welds are all really nice, super straight. Powder coat looks great. Thank you very much, Factory 43. That's cool, man. There. So just glancing at a lot of this stuff in here, I mean, four-wheelers get dirty. I'm not one to like totally clean underneath all the plastic all the time. But I think I'm gonna pull all the plastic off because I never have with this thing. A lot of the tabs are broken on it, so I kind of want to maybe get new plastic, depending on what stuff's in good shape or not. It might be kind of hard to do on the table, so I might put it back on the ground. Okay, let's see about taking off the front plastic. Oh. Ooh, man, is that all that's holding it on? The headlights look like they unplug pretty easily. There we go. One more plug. There it goes. Sweet. All right, that's the first time I've popped the plastic off of this. See what we're working with. Doesn't appear to be anything scary or broken so far. Just some tabs broken on the plastic. Oh, I don't want to lose those. Come on. There we go. This is interesting. I am the epitome of amateur wrencher, meaning I have some tools and I can take stuff apart. Aside from being pretty dirty though, this 400EX is in pretty solid shape. Alright, so that whole thing comes loose. I should be able to pull all this off without having to take the carb off necessarily right now. Holy crap, those are really on there. All right, let's take the intake off. That's pretty loose. we go. Oh, that popped off the intake, off the carb really easily. So now if I want to take off this part, I think it's just sitting on here. Easiest way to get that out of there. Well, the carb is, that thing is not on there very far. Either I pulled it out right now or it wasn't very tight. Okay. This is not very tight. I mean, I didn't loosen that intake up at all, that boot. What is going on here? Looking at that, this would appear the top of the motor mount's cracked on this thing. Looks like it's been probably, I don't know if that's a JB weld or regular weld. So far that's the only thing I've seen that's obviously broken on here. Everything else is just dirty. And then fender tabs being broken on one of the plastics, and that's it. Well, that was loose. That whole thing pops out of there. There, now it should pop out of there easily. A little more of a project than I expected to take a 400EX battery out of there. I want to take the carburetor off of here so that I can get to this thing better and just clean all this out. So it looks like I need to take off the throttle cable. That's all that's holding that on there. Alright. At least the inside of that intake boot's nice and clean. The outside is gross though. Let's see if these break loose. Oh, very stubbornly. I should stuff something in that boot right now. That'll work. Alright. Ow. Yep, I figured that was gonna happen. Well, I tell you what, that boot was not in danger of coming off with the motor, that's for sure. And there it is. Seems like it's sealed a little better. Well, I've gotten lucky. A lot of the hardware has just come out of this thing, so that's out. A little bit of rust on that bolt. All right, that is definitely an OEM saver. Look at that beast. Well, the good news is 400EXs don't break, so you don't really need them. There's some vintage earth from one of the years. Figured I would just start with this like nylon brush. Probably not gonna do much, but I guess just kind of work my way from the top down. So I've hit a lot of the surface stuff with just that little bristle brush, but I'm just gonna wipe things down now with a wet rag. Let's see if this will wipe up a little better. Okay, I've got the carburetor off of here. I have never cleaned it before. It was running okay. All this grime was built up on here, and that's one reason why I'm kind of deep cleaning this thing. I just want to see if there's any current leaks and where they could maybe be coming from after use, and then maybe we can get some of those leaks taken care of if there's bad seals or something somewhere. So I think I'll just start by taking off the bottom here. Looks pretty clean in there, actually. That's good to see. The gasket around the edge looks pretty good. Not looking too bad. That thing is super clean. I don't know which one's which. One's the pilot, one's the main. See how this one looks under the light. The smaller jet was definitely a little plugged. I can see more light through it now. And we'll spray this one out too. Put this one back in here. This guy back in there. Looks like everything is on there the way it's supposed to be. There we go. Let's see if I can kind of clean this up a little bit. So I got this cleaned up pretty good. There's more little nooks and crannies and stuff I could have gotten in, but at least a lot of the like kind of gross gas residue and stuff is off of here, so I'll be able to see if anything's leaking when I first use it. This little cover isn't really seated very good on here. It's kind of like warped. It doesn't really want to go where it's supposed to go, but I don't know if that's common for those to be kind of bowed in like that. But it would be nice if that was seated better, because as of right now, dust and crap can get in there. So I don't know if it just needs a new cover or if that's normal or not. I guess some of you guys can shed insight on that. But yeah, the outside of this cleaned off pretty good. I mean, it's going to get dirty. The parking brake assembly does not work on this thing. I'm not interested in making it work. And I got this for it, this universal pro taper clutch lever. Yeah, I've got to get the parking brake cable off. The clutch pull on this is crazy hard, so I actually got a new clutch cable for it as well. I haven't pulled off a parking brake like cover on a rear caliper before, so I'm assuming I might lose some fluid out of that. I guess we'll see. So I got a works connection block off plate. I wanted to get one that has a gasket, little rubber seal. I know these can leak, and a lot of companies make these, but I think I bought this a while ago. I think when I was browsing, this is one of the only ones I saw that had a little rubber gasket. Huh, that's pretty shiny. Cool little piece. Oh, look at that. Popped right off of there. Thought I was gonna have to give that a whack with the hammer. So that's simple enough. We'll put this one on here in its place. So now I need to take off this clamp and start just going backwards with the line. Pop that out. There we go. This might almost work easier to pull back through the frame once I undo the cable from the clutch lever. Get this cable out of here. Oh, the pieces are falling out. Oh, all right. All right. Come on. There it goes. Yay! I'm sure a handful of you are like, why don't you do the parking brake deletes on the other quads? And maybe I will now. I used to find myself using them more. They're a bit easier on the Yamaha, plus they're functioning and they're actually not that hard to adjust. I mean, obviously I agree, like it's a super clean look, especially the Yamaha's got that big flapper on there and that's kind of not aesthetically pleasing. Definitely when you're transporting, it's super nice to have a parking brake. You never want to transport your machine in gear, especially if it's rocking back and forth in your truck or in the trailer or something, because then those gears are hitting, and you always want to make sure if you're transporting your machine to have it in neutral, and that's when that parking brake's pretty handy to have. Let's see, the clutch cable should pop out of there. thread this back in. What else do we have here? There's 2 sensors on this, and I think Brewer told me that is to start the quad in gear. So the plan was to just get one of those little connectors and connect these things together so that I can do that. There we go. This should pop out. There we go. And there. That thing is off of there now. I guess we can put this one on. Looks pretty nice. Oh, don't tell me I gotta... Will that go over? I don't want to break it. I might have to pop all this off. Thank gosh for these lock-on grips, because those are super easy to take on and off. I feel like this would almost be easier to do with it on here. Come on. And let's see if I can get these separated. All right. So I need these to be connected. I'm kind of thinking cut one short and then leave one long. And then maybe I can put like the connector where they overlap. Right about here. Pretty sure this wire cutter is older than me. There it goes. All right. Go on. If I get it on there far enough. Come on, yellow buddy. Hang out with your green friend. We are going to crush this now. There we go. Well, they don't want to come apart. I think for winging it, it seemed like I did a decent job. I'm not going to give myself a high letter grade here. Nothing wrong with average. We're going to leave that exposed until all of this is put back together, and then I'll make sure it starts up in or out of gear before I wrap all that up. Okie dokie. There we go. That little plastic bushing is kind of nice to have on there. So this guy's gonna go into here. Looks like at that angle. And those are a 10. No, I guess wrong all the time. It's a 12. Not a whole lot of wiggle room there. Does it fit over that? The cable itself doesn't look bad. I wonder if this will make the clutch pull any easier. There. Okay, so this goes over that. And now I'm going to feed this up. I did notice on the old cable I took off, this portion of it was super bendy. And it's totally rigid on this new one. So maybe that was part of the reason why it had a hard pull. I'd be really stoked if I end up getting this on here and it's like quite a bit better. All right, as far as this thing goes, I'm gonna take this off of here. Whoa, okay, things are happening. I feel like that's gotta go, I think that just sits in there like that. This looks like it all spins on it. Cool. All right, that is on there. I do think the pull is a little easier actually, which is cool. Looks like we're good turning both directions. This is sweet, man. Okay, so we'll pop this thing out of here and we'll put this on. This guy. Oh yeah, they snug up fast. push. Oh yeah, there it goes. It was loose. It wasn't on there all the way when I took this off originally. That in itself was worth doing all this. Okay. Look at how good that thing came out, man. It looks great. Let's see. How does this want to go? I just need this to be pushed down while I push down and up on it. I think this is as close as it's going to go. It's on there. Okay. Alright, you can't really see this at all. Oh no, I can't get to these with this dang tube on here. I am having fun learning some of this the hard way here. So I should have put the throttle cable on before I put this back in here. And I think I'm gonna have to try to take this tube off. Looks, at the very least, I can move it up high enough. I should be okay. Okay, we got that up. Oh, I got it. And that is on there. Okay. I knew there'd be something that would trip me up. There, barely fits. So this just has a K&N filter with an outerwear. The reason I got one of these is because I actually really like cleaning the media filters. I think they're super easy to clean. I've got FCIs on the other quads, and the FCI filters are actually have more media in them than a K&N Air filter. So that's why I have this outerwear on this like actual K&N Air filter just to help protect it. But I've had no problems over the last couple years with the FCI filters, and you literally just spray them with filter cleaner, rinse them out with hot water, oil them up, super fast, super easy. I'm just gonna show you here how clean this thing is underneath. So yes, the outerwear is dusty. I put this on, I don't know, pretty much right when I got the quad, and that's how dirty it's gotten all the times we've ridden it. So especially with the airbox lid on, there isn't much getting in here. And some people do not like media filters and talk poorly about them. I've had nothing but good experiences. I see both sides of the spectrum. I think at the end of the day, you should run what you like. If you like foam filters, then use foam filters. The main thing is to just keep your filter clean, and that's all that matters. Okay, now I've got my throttle cable. Just put it right back on. That was in that little crevice, I think. All right. Looks like it's working like a thumb throttle. I would like to put an Hermosi throttle on here very soon, hopefully in the coming months or month. Good to go. Okay, I'm going to get this OEM case saver back on. I should have all the DRW protective products within a week or two. Okay, now I'm going to put the battery back in it. I like how that looks. Put this in here. There. All I have left now is plastic. I'm gonna put the front on, then I can get the key on and see if this turns on. So go down the choke. Well, this thing appears to be good to go. I'm stoked that I took it apart kind of for the first time, just on a maintenance level, and checked everything out, and it turned right back on. But it's also a 400EX, and they're pretty much bulletproof in every single way. We'll get the rest of it put together. I'm excited to take it for a ride here. We've got these new Alba Nerf bars, this new universal clutch, this Pro Taper clutch, and then I've also got the new throttle cable in there. And so far, this feels way better. The factory clutch cable must have been kind of fried because this is so much nicer. Got rid of the parking brake and all that. That looks really good. Got a gas cap to throw on there, just something simple. And yeah, I guess upcoming mods for this thing would be getting a taller stem, a Hermosi SBC and an Hermosi throttle, and then getting a Rossier pipe for it. I guess that's kind of all that's on the docket for now. Oh, and then all the DRW protective stuff. After that, it'd be nice to upgrade the front shocks potentially. I'm not sure if we'll do longer arms. I don't know how far we'll go with this thing. One thing that makes the 400EX special is just how it is in itself. So just putting TRX 450R shocks in the front and running the stock arms might be a pretty awesome upgrade. And maybe I'll see about having Rocket Ron redo the shocks on it. And maybe we'll keep it stock width because it's really fun how kind of small and nimble this thing is. And yeah, just kind of one thing at a time, but I'm really excited to have finally done a couple things to this. And man, we are just on the verge of dirt season. I'm just stoked, dude. How about I put this thing on here? I don't know. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm pretty sure when I went and ordered these, they didn't have black ones. I wouldn't mind having black. Not a lot of options for aftermarket gas caps, but I still like it more than that. Pretty much the exact same shape and everything. So this is the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this little refresh project on the 400EX. It was fun to learn a little bit more about this machine and to finally put some new stuff on it. Can't wait to do more work to the quad. It's going to be exciting to see how it shapes up throughout the year. And as always, thank you to everybody that's been supporting us through our website. You guys really help us a lot, and we're super grateful for that. And dirt season's right around the corner, so it won't be long and we'll be ripping, and we've got a lot of cool things planned in the coming weeks. So until then, you guys have a great one. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.